Type 2 diabetes, designed for you through information provided by individuals with type 2 diabetes and from the healthcare team that provides care to you. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. As a member of your healthcare team, it is important for you to understand some basic information about type 2 diabetes. My hope is that through today's education, we provide you with the proper tools to help engage you in your treatment decisions. Together as a team, we can help you live a long and healthy life while managing type 2 diabetes. Without any delay, let's get started. In Module 1, we will discuss what is type 2 diabetes, why did this happen to me, and what can I do now? When discussing type 2 diabetes, we first must understand how insulin works in the body. Insulin is a chemical that is produced in the pancreas, and it works by opening gates on the cells so that sugar or glucose can move into the cells to be used as energy. When you have type 2 diabetes, either the body doesn't produce enough insulin to remove sugar from the bloodstream, or your body's insulin has lost the ability to remove glucose in the bloodstream. Thus, your blood glucose levels start to rise. In this demonstration, you will see that insulin attaches to receptors in the blood cells, opening up pathways so that glucose can be absorbed into the cell. Moving on to the second part of Module 1, we will attempt to answer the question, why did this happen to me? The truth, there is no good single answer to why type 2 diabetes occurs. What we do know is that there are certain risk factors that place an individual at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Those risks include being overweight, having a family history of type 2 diabetes, age, race, and failure to maintain physical activity. Now we know what happens in the body with type 2 diabetes. We know the risk factors associated with type 2 diabetes. Now let's address the question, what can I do? First, you should discuss your care with your healthcare provider at every visit. Find ways to show them how you're managing at home. This is the first steps in taking control of your care. Second, checking your blood sugar levels or glucose levels daily will provide a record of how you're managing your disease. This will be the easiest way for you to know how you're doing at home. Next, learning how to eat a regular healthy diet will reduce the amount of sugar or glucose in the blood. Lastly, exercise and maintaining a healthy weight will help reduce blood sugar or blood glucose levels. To recap what we've learned, type 2 diabetes occurs when the body cannot rid itself of sugar or glucose from the body. There's not a single answer to what causes type 2 diabetes. However, we do know that there are many risk factors that make an individual at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. They include being overweight, having a family history of type 2 diabetes, age, race, and not maintaining physical activity. The final segment in Module 1, we discuss taking control of your disease by partnering with your healthcare provider, checking your blood glucose levels regularly, eating a healthy, well-balanced diet, and maintaining regular exercise. In the next module, we will take a closer look at nutrition. Nutrition is the simplest way to control type 2 diabetes. A diet for type 2 diabetes is the same as a regular healthy diet. The most important task when eating is managing the proper portion size, as well as making sure to eat the right foods. With proper meal planning, you can take steps to helping manage your diabetes. The first section of nutrition is carbohydrates. This represents food that will break down into sugar. On this diagram, you'll notice that carbohydrates are located on the left upper corner of the plate and only represent 25% of your total intake during a meal. Let's discuss some common foods that are carbohydrates. There are two types of carbohydrates, those that raise the blood sugar level slowly and those that raise the blood sugar level fast. When choosing carbohydrates, pick those that raise the blood glucose level slowly. Bread is a form of carbohydrate. When selecting bread, select breads that are whole grain versus those that are white. Whole grain breads will raise your blood sugar level slowly versus the white breads. Rice is another carbohydrate. It's best to select brown rice when possible. Brown rice will raise your blood glucose levels slowly. Beans are also considered a form of carbohydrate. It is preferred to pick those that are dried and split. Those that are dried and split will raise your blood glucose levels slowly. Desserts are carbohydrates. They will raise your blood glucose levels fast and should be avoided. Lastly, some foods have natural sugars. Milk, fruit, and starchy vegetables all contain natural sugars. This should be considered when meal planning. In review, carbohydrates should only account for 25% of a meal. They raise the blood sugar, and when choosing carbohydrates, pick those that raise the blood sugar slowly. The next section on our plate is proteins. Proteins similar to carbohydrates should only make up 25% of your meal. Proteins consist of a variety of foods to include chicken, beef, pork, seafood, eggs, beans, lentils, and nuts. In review, proteins can be found in a variety of foods. For a balanced diet, protein should only account for 25% of your meal. The last part of the plate is vegetables. Vegetables should account for 50% of your total intake per meal. Now let's put this information to work and do some meal planning. First, we must pick the right plate. A standard meal plate should be 9 inches in size, much like the styrofoam plate here. Now, taking the same plate, cut it in half. This will provide the amount of fresh vegetables that should be planned for with each meal. Next, cut the remaining half into half to provide 2 more compartments for food, 25% protein and 25% carbohydrate. Let's take this knowledge and build a meal. A salad provides a good opportunity to eat a variety of fresh vegetables. Meat is the source of protein. The recommended meat serving is 3 ounces per meal or 6 ounces for the day. An easy way to measure a meat serving is by matching the meat to the size of your palm. In this example, the meat is shredded pork. Carbohydrates can come from a variety of sources. In this meal, beans represent the source of carbohydrate. Salad dressing, milk, and cheese represent fat. These foods should be limited to reduce your chance of developing heart disease. This is your balanced diet. Using the plate method will help you balance your meals at home. To recap Module 2, we discussed that eating a regular healthy diet can lead to improved blood glucose levels. This means eating the right combination of carbohydrates, fats, vegetables, and proteins. In the final module, we will discuss steps you can take to maintain safety while treating your type 2 diabetes. In this final module, we will break down safety into 2 categories: managing low blood sugars and limiting complications. A low blood sugar can happen quickly. If not treated right away, low blood sugar can cause a medical emergency. You can even pass out. Warning signs include shaky or dizzy, blurred vision, weak or tired, sweaty, headache, hungry, or you become upset and nervous. Treating low blood sugar. First, check your blood sugar right away. If it's below 70, treat for low blood sugar. If you can't check, treat anyways just to be safe. Treat by eating 3 packets or 1 tablespoon of regular sugar, 4 ounces of regular fruit juice, or 6 ounces of regular soda. Diet soda does not treat low blood sugar as it does not contain sugar or carbohydrates. Check your blood sugar in 15 minutes. If it's still low, below 70, treat again. If you keep having problems and you don't know why, call your doctor or health clinic. Limiting complications. Some basic ways to prevent complications from type 2 diabetes is to have a yearly foot exam to check for nerve damage or neuropathy, a yearly eye exam to check for retinal damage, and yearly kidney test. If you have not had these done in the past year, please discuss with your provider today. In Module 3, we discussed low blood sugar and how to treat it. We also discussed complications associated with type 2 diabetes. It was a pleasure to provide your education today. Please remember, working alongside your healthcare team, there's hope for a long and healthy life.